The first card you have for your past is the Seven of Cups. Yeah, this is obviously about, confusion, having to make a decision, not being sure kind of which one to make, what to do. And there's temptation in this as well. There's a whole lot of things in here. So it looks a little bit like this man's been tempted into this big cloud of treasures. It's like he's come up to this cloud and there's a gorgeous woman's face and there's jewels and things and houses and golden cups and everything. And he's like, wow, look at that. And he's come over to look at what this is. And so I think this is about that. So I think there is some temptation in that. And I think you were mesmerized by something, drawn into something like this man. And then it was very confusing. You got into whatever this was and you had to make some kind of decision around it. And I think you wanted to make a decision, but you couldn't make that decision because I think there was something hidden. And I think maybe that was information that was hidden. And there's also some fear around this as well, because I think you might have been afraid, or not afraid, but it was almost as if there was a horrible feeling around this, because I think there's something about, I'm getting this feeling of being a bit dismissed or not taken seriously, and frustration as well, and not wanting to come back to feeling like that. So it was like you had to tackle whatever this was so that you could get through this and make this decision. But then there was this horrible feeling around it, and that might have been making you avoid it as well. So you had two things, avoidance plus knowing you had to tackle it, and then this kind of not being sure what to do because you didn't have all the information. So there's all that kind of stuff going on there. And, there were some aspects of this situation where you were left in the dark, like this man. The other thing is, I think this is what was going on. I think this is why you kind of felt as if you were dismissed in a way, because I'm just looking at this man again, and it's almost as if he's reduced to a silhouette of himself. You're a 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional person even, and this man's 1-dimensional. He's like a silhouette. And he's also, a shadow of himself. So it's like you're kind of reduced to a shadow of yourself, or you were made to feel as if you were. You weren't, but you were made to feel like that. So it was like you didn't want to go back to this because of that feeling. It was like, oh, if I go back and face this, I know I have to. If I go back and face this, I'm going to feel like that again. I don't want to feel like that again. Plus, I want to get away from this and I can't because I don't have this information. So it's all this great big kind of really messy thing. And that's what the Seven of Cups is. It's really confusing. So, I think you are a deep person. You do have a lot of different facets. You're not one-dimensional. And you know that, and they know that. They know you're not like that. But they were trying to reduce you down, I think, because maybe it was some kind of a tactic so that they looked good and you looked bad. Something like that. So, so there was a lot of stuff around this, confusion, not, wanting to get away, but then knowing you can't because you had to make a decision, but then you couldn't. So there's a lot of stuff there. And you might have already gotten through this. This is in the past. I hope you have. I really hope you have, because it sounds like a nightmare. The next card you have your past is the Eight of Cups. So yeah, look at this man walking away. This is what you wanted to do. You really, really, really wanted to walk away. This whole situation was just ridiculous. You just wanted to walk away from this. You were very emotional around this, very passionate about this as well, with this man's red coat he has on. And I think what happened for a while was you did decide, look, I'm just going to walk away from this. I'm just going to clear my head. And you did that. But then again, you knew you had to come back again because this had to be solved. So you did that because I often see this man walking away, coming around this hill and coming back around again. So if you haven't solved this already, you are still going to have to come back and face all of this. And you don't want to, you have a bad feeling about it, but you have to. That's what I'm seeing. You might have already, again, this is in the past. Now, yeah, and one of the big barriers is, I think, this person who kind of tried to reduce you down to the shadow of yourself. And the feeling around that is horrible. And it's like, I don't want to feel that again. But I think, yeah, you either have had to or you are going to have to face that again, if that makes sense to you. So the last card you have for your past is the Magician. This is fantastic. I'm so glad you have this here. This is a reminder to you. This is who you are. This is reminding you. It's like you've been reduced down. You've been made to feel terrible. You've been made to feel like a shadow of yourself, but you're not. This is what you are. This is what you truly are. You're the Magician. That's what this card's showing you. And I also think this is showing you that if you haven't gotten through this already, to get through this now, I think you're probably going to have to go about this in a whole new way. Think of it in a whole new way. I think there are two things going on here. There's a thing you want to make a decision about and move out of. There's also this negative feeling around this person and you're not taking action because of that horrible feeling. So I hope this is making sense, because this whole thing is so confusing. It's very confusing. I'm trying to make sense out of it myself. So maybe try to look at a solution in the way that a magician would. You know, think of a way that is outside of a normal way of looking at things. You know, try to plan things. Also keep your cards kind of close to your chest. By that I mean, don't give yourself away to people. Really think about what you're going to have to do, plan things and all of that kind of thing. So do things in a kind of a different way, an unusual way. And I think you've already done that in other things and you've been a success. You've done things in a way that was unusual, that in a way that a lot of other people wouldn't do, and you've been successful with that. So think about using those kinds of ideas and tactics on this situation as well. But I think the main thing is trying to take a lot of emotion out of this and trying to really look at things logically and clearly, and and then clearing your mind and then using your mind to come up with these kind of different ways. But I mean, I think the big message from this card is to remember who you are, and remember that you are smart, and remember that you can get out of this. You absolutely can. That's what I'm seeing there. So the first card you have for your present is, yes, the Devil. And I've covered his head, I know, because he's so ugly. So yeah, I keep on seeing this situation with this kind of very, very confusing situation that you're trying to get out of. So this is showing me that you're probably not out of this yet, because this is in the present. So yeah, you've tried to come up with things. You've tried to come up with things to kind of help and all of that. But I think there's this feeling of you being put down, the confusion around everything. It's all kind of a big mess, and it's really hard for you to kind of find a way to kind of break away from this. And, you know, you can break away. You absolutely can break away. Because if you look at the people on this card, they've got chains around their necks, but they're loose chains. They could easily take them off if they wanted to. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy, but there is a way. There absolutely is the way, because you've got the Magician card. The Magician knows the way. He's very smart, he's very intelligent, and he's very clever, and he can find a way. So you can find a way. Also, have a look at what these people are chained to. They're not chained to the Devil. They're not chained to the Devil. They're chained to a box. So the Devil's sitting on a box and they're chained to this box, and it's a black box. Now, black boxes are where information's stored, hidden information. You know, when you think about an aeroplane that has a terrible accident, and they go around and find out what happened to the plane, and they go looking for the black box, and all the recordings on there, so all the hidden information's on there, and someone has to actually go and find that black box, which could be anywhere. It could be in the sea, could be anywhere. So it's very difficult to find. So there's this information somewhere that's hidden, and you're chained to that information because you need to find out what that information is. And once you find that out, then you'll be able to solve this, and then you'll be able to move on. That's what I'm seeing in this card. So you have the ability, you can unlock this black box, you could find the information and you can walk away. But I think you're going to have to really try to organize your thoughts, take your emotions out of all of this. And because there's so much emotion in this that's really clouding all this, with all these cups in your past and this great big cloud that's in the Seven of Cups. So there's all of that kind of confusingness, and you're going to have to put your emotions aside, put all the confusion aside, and think very logically so that you can open up this box and find the information. Once you have that, you'll be able to move forward. That's what I'm seeing in that card. I really, really hope that makes sense to you. So the next card you have your present is the Emperor. So again, this is you again. You're the Magician and the Emperor. I keep on seeing it. I keep on seeing this terrible situation and then a card reminding you of who you are. Don't forget of who you are. You can get through this. You're strong. You know, and then the Devil, horrible again. And then don't forget you're the Emperor. So it's like, this is all reminding you of who you are. This is because you're so down about this, you're so lost in this, that these cards are trying to bring you out of that and say, you know, remember who you are. You're the Emperor, you're the Magician. So again, the Emperor is very clear. He's straightforward. He moves forward. So you're going to have to find a way to clear your head so that you find the information, so the good ideas come in, and ways of dealing with this come in, and then you can move forward and do this. I think this is also a little bit of a warning to you, to maybe not be too forceful around this, because if you look at this Emperor, he's in his armor. He's got, you know, his armor on his legs, so you know, he's ready to battle. So I think you need to be a little bit more like the Magician than the Emperor, because the Emperor forces himself in. He forces the situation. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But the Magician's very clever, not calculating, but very clever. He thinks very clearly, very carefully about the situation, and then he works in a way that might not be the same way that people are expecting. You know, he does tricks, he surprises people, so and people are like, oh, how did you do that at the end? So that's how the Magician operates. So you need to operate a little bit more like the Magician, because you are up against someone who tried to reduce you down. That's what I was seeing in the Seven of Cups. They're a bit manipulative, so you're going to have to use Magician tactics rather than Emperor tactics in this. That's what I'm seeing. So I'm also seeing something else in this. I think this is, I'm actually seeing someone who's trying to show you how they feel about you. Someone really loves you, actually. They're trying, or they've got a crush on you or something. They're trying to show you how they feel. They're trying to kind of bash on the suit of armor. They're banging on it, but you know, they can't get in because it's a great big hard suit of armor and they can't get into you. And that's what you can be like as well. You can have your armor on and nobody can get in. So, but I think this person was close to you once, actually. I think they used to be close to you, and there was some kind of separation between you. And for some reason, I'm seeing you a little bit off track at this time, or out of your usual routine. And that's, being out of your routine is what's kind of bringing you closer to that person, or it's bringing them closer to you. It's something like that. And you don't like to be out of your routine. You want to be back in your routine. You want to get on with things. But you're out of that for some reason. But I think also because you have all this terrible situation on your mind, you've got all your other work, you've got everything else you've got going on in your mind, that, you know, this person's messages are going to be lost in all of that. So they can't get through your armor as well, and also their message is kind of lost in all the stress that you're going through. Your mind is 100% on that, not on anything else. And when your mind's on something, you know, when an Aries mind's on something, that's it, you know, too bad, nothing else is going to get in. Your mind is on that. But I'm seeing they're trying, and I think they're walking away disappointed because of all of those reasons. They might already have done that. but I think they'll come back again. And I think they're going to have opportunities to do that. One of the reasons is that you are out of your normal routine. So they're going to see that and they're going to not use that, but that's going to kind of be happening, and that's going to kind of make them, give them the ability to connect with you. That's what I'm seeing. And yeah, what I'm seeing is, I know this is going to sound really weird, but things are being moved or changed around so that you can connect, or so that they can connect with you. So it's either, you know, the universe or whatever is moving things around so that you are able to connect with them. That's what I'm seeing in that card. I know that was a lot in that. It's very confusing. This whole thing is very confusing. I'm sorry about that. This is all what I'm seeing. So, yeah, the last card, you have your presence, the King of Swords. So, yeah, this king is 100% logic. He has no emotion. He is just logic, logic. We have to do this. We have to do that. This is the procedure. We go ahead and we do this. That's what he's like. And I think you will get to the bottom of this. I think a lot of things are actually going to be revealed to you. And I think the devil's box might actually open up on its own. I don't think, you know, it might come to a point where you don't have to actually open it. It's just going to reveal itself to you. And I don't know if finding out this information is actually going to help you to totally solve everything or solve it faster. I'd love to be able to tell you it will. But I think it is going to make things very interesting. It's going to shed some light on things, and you're going to see this information and you'll say, oh, I see. So it's going to show a lot of things to you. It's going to make things very interesting. And yeah, this king means business. This king means business. So, and he's not thinking about love either. So I think this person in the Emperor card might keep on trying, but I think they're going to have to wait for a while. So I think it's going to be a while before you do actually connect. But yeah, this is going to be resolved. I'm actually seeing a big wait and then a resolution. That's what I'm seeing, a wait and then a resolution. And I think the resolution's going to partly come from you using your mind, using your abilities, like the magician, and putting your emotions aside, like this king. And but I think other things are going to happen as well outside of that aren't in your control. It is all going to feel a bit out of control for a while, and then it's going to calm down, and that's when the results are going to come. And when this is all over, you're just going to feel so much more free. You know, like the butterfly over this king's head. At the moment he's sitting there, he's trying to find a solution. He's thinking about the butterfly. He's thinking, how can I be free? How can I be free? And once this all happens and you find this solution, you come to this conclusion with this, which you will, the butterfly is going to fly up, and that's going to be you. You're going to be free. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the first card you have for your future is the Three of Cups. Yeah, this is a positive result. So don't stress about this. Even if you're waiting, even if you're frustrated, even if it's confusing, there is going to be a positive result. And you're going to feel like celebrating after this. You're going to feel like, finally, I can celebrate. So this card can also be about friendships, and sometimes it can be about the friend zone as well when it comes to love. And it can mean, you know, sometimes it can mean third parties, but I think in this reading, it's about friendships, friend zone, all of that kind of thing. And I think this person who's trying to connect with you, I don't know if you've even noticed them or not. You might not have, because you have so much on your mind. But I think this is how they're going to be feeling. They're going to be feeling like, oh, I'm in the friend zone. You know, maybe they notice me a little bit. Maybe they say hello, goodbye, or whatever. But they're so wrapped up in everything else that they're doing that they're not even noticing me. I'm kind of really on the outer. I'm looking in. And they're not even noticing me. That's how they're feeling about you, or they're going to be. So, yeah, these three women, if you look at these three women, they're so into what they're doing. It's like they're all facing each other, they're all happy, they're all dancing, and they're just preoccupied in what they're doing. And, you know, if someone came along and offered them love and said, excuse me, would you like to come out and whatever, come and have a drink with me or whatever, would you like this diamond ring even? They would just be so preoccupied, they might not even notice. They're so wrapped up in what they're doing. And so, yeah, so again, this is how this person was feeling about you. It was like, oh, I can see them, they're there, I'm trying to communicate, but they're so wrapped up in everything, they're not even noticing me. But I think they are going to keep on trying again. I keep on seeing that. They're going to try again. And again, I'm seeing that situations are going to be engineered, moved around, not by them, it's just going to happen like that. And this is going to put you together. It might be that you kind of see them somewhere, or it might be that, I don't know, it could be anything, but there's something where things are going to be moved around and you'll be in a situation where you're going to connect. That's what I'm seeing. Now, whether that's what you want, I don't know. Whether you want anything to come out of this, I don't know, because you do have your armor on. That's what I'm seeing in the Emperor, so you might not. But this is what's going to happen. This connection's going to happen. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have, your future, is the horrible Seven of Swords. Yeah. So this reading is crazy. It's like good, bad, good, bad.